Whoever becomes the leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world. His name, Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation. This world leadership to which Putin referred is obviously an extremely appealing prospect, not just for Russia, but equally for China, the United States, for example. Besides this geopolitical game, we have to reckon with the enormous influence from companies like Huawei, Cisco, Facebook, and many others. Isn't it time for fair, global, ethical, and legal rules regarding the use of data and AI? Rules that allow us to protect individual rights and freedom. For example, in achieving global sustainable development goals.
What is the best way to arrange our societies and expressing it in digital technology? And AI is functioning as a huge systems integrator. It's making a lot of those ambitions possible. Think of, in the case of China, the global financial system, and think of the renminbi as the reserve currency, or the new Silk Route, or the military buildup, or the science and technology programs, or the industrial program made in China 25. And then this final piece replacing human rights discourse by the idea of social harmony. You could get nowhere with these large ambitions if you wouldn't have top-notch digital technology.
I heard you speak about President Putin being quite a leader in this arena. We are still in the midst of sorting through the results of what sort of meddling was done here. And the length of time that it takes to go through those issues, by the time we know what were the consequences and the modalities bear results for us to see the Mueller report, etc. Is there a risk of damage to democracy? You're all talking about a longer trajectory of how policies can be formed. In the meantime, what do we global citizens do when our phones are taken by ghost operators, for example, whether we're journalists, whether we're business executives, whoever we are? Are there entities being formed already to deal with these things?
In Europe, we are thinking about those institutions that could surveil, monitor, kind of democracy observatories. For example, Macron has asked in his letter, which was ridiculed a little bit, so he wrote to Les Citoyens, or citizens of Europe, calling for a new digital renaissance, and he drew attention to this, also looking forward to the European elections. And there's a lot of anxiety around how certain parties will meddle and will try to influence that. And indeed, I think your point is very, very relevant.
How can we, investigate, look at these things, assure ourselves of the fact that these things have been done properly and in accordance with the rule of law? So that is something that we have to create new institutions. We have to invent that. So we're thinking also in the Netherlands about setting up a unit or an agency that would oversee elections, and especially this online vigilance of the voters.
Both Europeans and Americans are, I think, deeply concerned with the Chinese scoring system. Here, think of a secret scoring of travelers, of employees, proprietary techniques also in the criminal law justice, as Jeroen was saying. So there are common interests.
Well, recently, Brazil enacted a statute called the General Data Protection Regulation, and a comprehensive privacy statute that has looked for inspiration at the EU model as well, and the legislative process in India after 2 court decisions there challenging a massive national biometric identification system.
We have some very powerful common interests. Interest in what is the world is the trade relationship, strategic interest. I don't believe that the AI and technology discussion should be turned into an arms race, but there is that threat, and I think we have common interests. Being on the same side, if that does happen.